back to Mountain of the Geeks. You join us for another Streets of Venice TT Combat unboxing. Today we're going to make one building from these 4 sets. It's the Noble House building, and this is the main part of it, Venetian Noble House B. So that's the base part which we're going to be starting with. And then next will come the extra floor, which is going to make it a bit bigger and good for jumping off. This comes with a balcony on there. That's the balcony extension one. I think there's one that also comes without a balcony. We got the balcony one because balconies are cool and they're good for jumping off and standing on, basically making speeches from. Next up we have the roof. We're going with a Venetian roof terrace B for this. I quite like the way this one's built up. On the pictures I've seen of this, it looks like there should be like vines growing over it or something like that.
Cool.
I want to, maybe I might get some GW vines, or I'll have a look around see if we can get anything look a bit more realistic, because the GW vines, but they are plasticky. But we'll see. I might be able to put something together. Once I build it, I'll make a decision. Not sure on that. And then the other one is one of the newer kits, which is the Venetian balcony set. We're going to do that one with this. I'm not going to use them all on one building. I think you get 6 balconies in this, if I'm correct. There's 3 on the picture, but I think you get 6. And we're probably only going to use 1, but what we can do is put the rest together in ready to use on other buildings. Because we want to put a few more balconies on our buildings, just so there's places to jump from in Carnivale. So these are good additions. We've also, in the next video we've got some little gardens.
Yeah.
You know, the window box
gardens. Window box. Yeah, like you get in Assassin's Creed.
Which are actually big enough to stand on. So in the next video you'll see those with a few of the other buildings that we've got. But for this video we're going to use these 4 kits, which we'll say we'll have some of those spare. We're going to use these 4 kits to make one tall building, which is going to hopefully have quite a bit of utility. Something you can put near the middle, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It gives you quite a lot of height to it.
To leap off.
Right, so I think we should begin at the bottom.
Okay.
With that one, and again work our way up.
Right.
So
is this one like an either or kind of thing?
Yes.
You can either have that one on the top or that one on the top.
Well, this isn't the top, but this is an extra floor.
Oh, is it?
So you can see there you've got the 2 floors.
Yeah.
So you could have these 2 together, which would make this one big building. The greyed out bits are this kit, basically.
Right, and then you've got...
So you can just have this kit on its own, which makes you a 2-storey building. Done. Or you can have an extra floor on, which makes it a 3-storey building.
Right.
Or you can take the roof part off and put on a rooftop up, which then makes it a bit taller again, because you've got like a mini roof up there, so it becomes like a 4-storey building. That's the plan anyway.
Okay. Wow.
So we'll see how that goes. So we'll start at the bottom with this one. And again, don't think there'll be any instructions in these, so we might have to
have a look on my phone.
Check online.
Well, in saying that, we've not done too bad a job of deciphering what we need us to do.
Mostly, it's usually pretty straightforward. You got a picture there, and we've got other pictures on the website. So we have a piece of grey board with the coins on. These are called coins. Someone mentioned on one of the previous videos these were called coins.
Okay.
So thank you for that.
Thank
Spelled
you.
with a Q.
Q.
But it's pronounced coins apparently.
Coins.
So,
thank you for that.
And then we have some MDF board. That's obviously going to just fall out. Again, like I always say, if you're going to push this out, just give it a nudge. If it doesn't come out straight away, don't force it. Get a knife, turn it over so you've got the back part, run a knife along the back, and that stops any tearing from occurring. Same with the grey board really. Okay, and then we have some walls with nice gothic arch sort of motif going on. And then we have, oh, there we go, bits falling off. Not sure what they are yet, but it looks like we've got some more floors. Oh, is this the roof? This will be the roof.
That could be the roof.
These will be roof sections. Ah yes, they'll be the roof parts. So these are going to be the parts that are jutting out at the top. There. These little bits. Yes, okay. Right, so let's get all these parts off. I'll cut off any bits I don't need, and then we can come back. So we're back in 1 second. Okay, so we're back. I was just cutting the grey board, right? Look at the colour of my hands. They're clean. That's just from doing this. It's the way they burn it on. So I'm going to wash my hands for the next part of the video. But I want to come back to this part. This is the, it's covered in black stuff now as well. That's the floor that we're going to be starting from. That's the ground floor. That's the second floor. And that's the roof. So that's the bottom. The one disappointment is there's no gap in there for stairs. It's not a biggie. You could always cut one. But the other buildings we've done so far had a gap in. So you could, in theory, have stairs. Not a big issue. What I am going to do on this one though is I'm going to put some hinges on because I got some hinges and they have arrived. So they're just dollhouse hinges. What I'm going to do before I actually cut these, I'm going to glue. Should I do it before? Yeah, well, there's two ways to do it. You can glue them on and then cut these bits here, these little bits, and then, because I have to do it from the front, and then force them open and they're in the correct position, or I can cut them, get rid of the extra crap that's on there and try and line them up again afterwards. Either way is easy-ish. Right, so what I'm going to do, usually what I do is I cut them off and I do them separately, and it takes ages to line them up and it can be quite faffy. I'm going to attempt it the other way. If it goes wrong, I'll let you know. When I come back, I'll either be swearing a lot or I'll be very happy, so then you'll know what's happened. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to attempt to glue the hinges on, wait for the glue to dry, and then cut it, and then hopefully they'll just open. See you in a minute. Okay, so I have returned. I've put the hinges on there. That's about the best place I can put them on. Ideally, you only want to put one hinge on one side because it's a real pain to line them up if you're trying to use 4 hinges. It will be more secure with 4 hinges, but you've got to make sure they're lined up, and it's pretty difficult on this scale to do that. Ideally, if you're going to use one hinge, you put it nearer the centre just for pressure. However, the centre puts it right over these windows, and I don't want to do that. So I've put them higher up, and they do open. Surprisingly, I was shocked. There we go. They do open, and they require a little bit of fiddling to close. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave them open for the rest of the build, and then I'll close them at the end, basically, just so they don't get in the way. But there we go. So it did work. I glued them on first, then I cut those bits there from both sides and those bits there from the front, and gave it a little shove once I knew these were dried off, and they've worked. So there we go. Right, put that there for a second, and just realised I was leaning on the knife. Great.
Not good.
Safety tip. Let's put the tip on. These are the hinges I was waiting for that I didn't use in the previous video. They come with these little nails which are too long to go into this wood because they're nearly twice the length of the wood. You could always nail, if you didn't have any detail on the side, you always nail them in and then cut the ends off. It's always an option. I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to glue them, which has its own problems of tearing, and you've got to wait for it to dry, and you've not got to use too much of it. And I used a little bit of the grey board just to put a little bit of glue on either side. If you get any glue in that hinge, it is buggered basically. Completely.
We did that once, didn't we?
I've ruined a couple of hinges that way, to be fair. And sometimes the cheapest chips, these hinges, and some of them you get don't work anywhere when you get them. So if you are ordering hinges, I think they're about 79p a bag of hinges, and there's about 12 hinges in the bag with a bunch of these nails. I just took all the hinges out of that one. Order yourself a few bags because you will get a few knackered hinges in there. It's for the price of them. I'm not really bothered, and they do the job. And they come all the way from the Solomon Islands. I'll just check in the packaging, see if I can find out the size for you, but it's not on there. So if you want to know the size, put in the comments. I'll because I got them off Amazon, so I'll go back on my Amazon order and check it for you if anyone wants to know. But there we go. So that's the hinges done, and now we can actually start putting this thing together.
Yay.
So this is the base.
I
expected that to stand up then. It didn't. That's I'll need that.
Oh, sorry.
Because that's the front. So that's going to go on at the front. This is where I also find that I did something wrong with it. The front's where these two parts are. The backs.
They're quite tight fitting because
They're very tight fitting.
Yeah, I tried dry fitting before
There we go,
to fog out which way it went.
Actually, that's a good thing though, because it helps to glue it in place if it's tight fitting. It doesn't really help getting it in place, especially with these, the way these are done. So what I'll have to do is do what I did on the previous one and put these together as a square and then sort them in place. That's the easiest way to do this rather than the other way. So we'll put some glue on these and then basically try and slot it all in one go. These nodules are going to get in the way a little bit, but it shouldn't be too difficult, and then I can just turn it over and make sure it's on properly if I need to. So we'll put those bits on first and then we'll be back once they're together. But Claire needs to say something.
Yeah, the person that told us that these were called coins was Graham Rigg, so thanks very much, Graham, for that.
Thank you, Graham. See you in a moment.
Bye.
Okay, so we're back. We've done the bottom part. This isn't stuck on. After I stuck these on, I thought I'd test fit the first floor on here, and it just to hold it in place because it will keep the sides together while the glue sets as well. When I came to test it, these bits were really stiff at the sides. They wouldn't fit in, and they actually started to cause these edges to bulge out a bit too much. So what I did was I took a file and just filed it down for about 5 seconds, 10 seconds on each side, and then pushed it back on and just removed the smallest amount of material imaginable known to man, and now it fits on. So just a warning, don't force these on. If they start to bulge out, it will tear these struts. I've done it on other builds. It's not mattered as much, but this is actually an edge that juts out all the way around. It's actually like a little bit of fanciness. So I don't want it to be halfway around the building not sticking out, which is why I've actually filed it a little bit. And it's still solid, it's still stuck in there, it's not going to fall off or anything. So as you're doing it, just make sure you've not filed off too much either. It's kind of a balancing act. Anyway, I'm going to pull this off. That can finish curing. And we can start on the first floor even. We have 2 walls, don't we? So the front one's got these little bits on. It's almost exactly the same makeup as the first floor, the ground floor even. I'm getting really confused with my floors today. Just wait till later when we're having more on. It'll be like 4th, 5th, 7th floor, 11th floor. So again, same makeup as before. We put these together, stick it on, and then what I'll do, I'll test fit the roof part again to make sure it fits on to this. Exactly the same way I've done it. These are actually even thinner edges, so I want to make sure that really does fit in place. So I'll be back to let you know once we've built this bit. Okay, so exactly the same thing. This has gone together the same way, same problems, but this didn't fit on quite as well. The actual problem was these are really thin and this actually started to snap as I was trying to push this on. So I took a bit of material off this bit and this bit. I also took a bit of material off this side because this is the side that started to snap. Just so that's a bit more rounded and wasn't pushing up. Because rather than pushing in, it was pushing up on that and causing it to break. I've also put a little bit of glue along there just to try and strengthen it a little bit. But now it does fit in place. So we can move on to the next stage, which is based on this, and it's the roof, which is made up of these parts. So these parts here, the small parts, are going to go on the small edges. They're going to fit into place. Same on this side, they're going to fit into place, and then we have the long edges there. I'm going to do the same again and glue them into a square and then push them, because again they're quite stiff and it's going to be quite faffy trying to do it the other way. Not that it's not faffy anyway. So they're going to get glued on. Once they're on, these parts go on. This is like the border on the top. So I'm going to glue these into place, and they go like that, for instance, on the long edge. Like that. So once they're on, I'll put these bits on, which leaves these holes here, which I've got these little bits for. Don't know whether they're called crenellations or that's just on a castle or some sort of architecture. Someone will know, let me know. They're going to go into those parts there. There should be 5 along the long sides and 3 along the short sides. Once that's done, the roof is finished and we'll come back and we'll put the grey board on. So we'll see you for that. Okay, so the roof is done. The camera will focus. It just needs to dry. I ended up fitting it upside down once those other bits were on. It was just easier. So you can see there, I've got those fancy bits on. So while that's drying, which I just let it do upside down, because again, it's probably about the best way to let it dry. We'll put on the grey board, which goes on the ground on the first floors. Yeah, I got it right. So we need the coins on both. Do they invert these ones at all, or are they just?
I'm just having a look now.
Are they just? They don't, do they?
No, don't look like it. No.
On the pictures, they are though.
Are they?
Yeah. They don't sort of interlock like the other ones do. So on the pictures at the front, you've got them like that. And like that. And on the wall next to them, they switch around so they must be in pairs. So that one's going to go on there, that way around. So we're going to glue them on. And there's also the door frame, which is there, which is going to go over that bit. And the 2 windows for the bottom, we're going to have them both closed. And then we've got the arch ways on there, 3 Gothic arches they need to go on. So let's glue all those bits on and then we're back and the building should be, well, first part of the building should be finished. Okay, so got all the grey board on that. I've done it exactly like it is on the pictures. It does beg the question as to how they've done some of these brickworks not quite meeting up, but that's exactly how it looks on there. So I'm just going to go with that. I'm happy with that. So obviously that's going to go on the top of there. I'm not going to push it on yet because the card's still drying, and then the roof will go on top of there, and that gives you your Venetian Noble House B, which by the time we've done the rest will hopefully be dry and I'll be able to slot it together correctly. But that's roughly what that one kit will give you, which is a really cool building with a nice lipped roof to stand on. You can stand on the edge of standing there, maybe get a bit of cover if you stand in it. Couple of points, those don't fit perfectly. Some of those fittings did have to file them down. That's still got quite a bit of a gap in it on the edge there. I don't know how to use some filler later on or whatever, just try and fill it in, but even a squeeze, it's not closing that. Other than that goes together, and then obviously we're missing like an area there for like ladders to go up. That's not the biggest issue. Mine's more of a fitting issue, but it looks amazing. And it's going to look really good. Oh, and another point, I want to bring it up now before I forget. When I use the stuff that goes over the MDF, which I'll keep pointing at until that passes me. I've got some more of this MDF sealer. This is from TT Combat as well, so you can see it on there. When I covered the previous building in it, it works really well. I also covered the grey board in it, and that's fine as long as the grey board's attached to something. However, the roofs actually warped a little bit, and then the paint's warped them back a little bit weirdly in the other direction, but they are kind of warped. It looks fine because I've painted them so they're a little bit damaged looking, so it looks just fine. It just looks like a well-used roof. Just be warned, if you're going to use this stuff, might not use it on any freestanding grey board. For instance, these windows, the edges are fine. I probably won't paint any of it over the centre parts because they've no support on these ones. The previous building actually had like little supports in which could line them up against, but then the windows were a bit bigger as well, so that explains that. And the hinges work fine. They're cool, they still work, still move. It's the first time I've checked them actually, right on camera. Right, so while that finishes its drying process, we'll move on to the next part, which is the extra floor for this building. So here we are with Venetian no balcony, mobile house B balcony. There we go. So I'm imagining that it's pretty much the same as putting one of these other ones together. What we've just done, but with a balcony added on. But we'll find out. So we get this plastic off. Oh, typical.
Yeah, you're having a struggle there.
Yeah. There we go. There. I went for the bit in there and then it decided to go inside. I'm like, no! Right, so there is a grey board with a very similar doorway and windows and coins. We have another floor section which looks very familiar, apart from we've got these cutout sections which are probably for the balcony. I'd be hazarding a guess at that. Oh, maybe I'll just film it. And then we've got to push these parts out. So we've got the walls. We've got another set of doors. Yay! So what I'm going to do exactly the same with these doors. I'll do them before I come back, but I'll probably see if I can put the. That's a point. Just make sure it's wide enough, really. Just wide enough to put that in the middle, or I could put it just underneath. I'll have a think about that. So we'll get these bits cut off. I'll get the hinges put on, and then we'll come back. Okay, so we have the doors on. That is done. I did get a bit wonky when I was lining up the actual hinges. They're not quite lined up with each other, but they work on the doors themselves. So we're putting this together. It's exactly the same as one of the previous floors. So what I'm going to do is fit this the same way. We've got the sides there, we've got the front that I just showed you. That's going to go on. I'm going to fit that up. And then I'm going to test, because obviously the roof's going to go on, that we've got the same, see we've got the same issue with fitting the roof on as we've had so far. Then we also have the balcony, which is here. And now that's made up of this piece here, and we have the actual balcony pieces, the railings on there. And then we have these fancy bits which are going to go underneath, and there's 4 of them because they go sort of that way around, stick them together. So you've got like detail on both sides, and they're quite thick then. And then they're going to plug into there and onto there. It should be straightforward enough. So I'm going to go ahead and just do all that, and then we can come back and do the grey board. Okay, so I've actually attached it to these parts just to make sure everything fits, and you can get a better idea of how it's going to look once the grey board's on. We've got the balcony here, that plugs in to there, and that's relatively secure, he says. Yeah, that's pretty secure. I think you can probably stand a model on that without it falling off. Especially since it's made from resin and not metal. I'm going to leave that separate because it's easier to store. Because once you, obviously if you have a look there, you can see that that's covering the window. So if I was to glue that on, I'd have those bits hanging down. I don't know, I'd be afraid it gets knocked off anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to leave that bit off and just add it on when I'm using the full building. That way it gives me plenty more options. Anyway, right, grey board. So this is where I get dirty again and get my hands covered in black stuff. So I'm going to cut these off. I'm going to put the coins on the edges. Obviously this is the door frame and window frame which goes on there, and then we've got the window frame at the back which is like the previous window frames. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on, come back, it should be finished. You can have a quick look at it and then we can move on. Okay, so there is the fully finished, fully functional Death Star. I mean, fully finished roof section.
Where have you been?
And obviously a 3-story version is going to look like that, the size.
Wow.
There we go. Right, but that's not enough.
We have to supersize.
We have to do another story. Okay, so the roof section now.
There you go again, trying to get in here. Oh, bit
this
better.
Make a bigger hole. Make a bigger blast. Right. Okay. So we have, obviously we've got the roof part itself. So the last one, actually the extension fit on perfectly. I didn't need to do any adjustments with that. Hopefully this will fit on just as well. And then this will be the secondary roof for the smaller part, which will be this bit, I imagine, because this bit is tiled, so I imagine that's the open part. And so we should have like a very small roof section. Let's have a look. Is that all coming off quite easily?
Near enough, yeah.
Ooh, what's these?
I don't know whether those need to come out or not.
These will need to come out. It's just, there's obviously other bits in there as well. And we have another set of doors. Yeah. I may as well make them all open. I've done it so far. At least these ones have no windows next to them, so I can put them about in the middle. Now we've got some more grey boards to fill things up and an actual roof section this time. Oh, right, so let's get all these bits off and together, and then we can begin. Okay, so we've got the doors on again. Quite happy with that one. That's where I'd like the hinges to be on all those, but couldn't do because of the windows, etc. So again, we'll leave those open. So we have two parts here. We have this closed off bit, which consists of this part. Then we have two small walls and the back wall. Oops, a back wall with this bit on. So they need to go into place. And this bit, which is the open sort of section, which consists of this large one of those, and I don't know what, it's sort of like a trellis work, isn't it? I don't know sure what kind of balcony we'd actually call it. But yeah, that goes on that side. Fits into there. There's actually a bit there where it fits on, like that. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those bits on and get it into place, and then we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so we have put together the two separate bits. I've actually just put that on the top again just to make sure it fits. I did file down these edges just a little bit, just because these are really thin edges again, so I don't want to just snap it. If you get it wrong, these are quite easily snapped. So I did file them down just to take the edge off so they don't get caught on the way in. This does seem to go one particular way around. There are little dips in there, and at this point I'm assuming that's to accommodate this because it's slightly higher than the other part. So I'll just tear it off there. You can see there now where we're up to. Okay, so from this point, what's next?
You need the two window frames and the two window sills.
Right, so these little T sections are sills, and these are going to go on the back here, are they? Right.
Yeah.
So these plug into there, and then the window frame will go around. So we'll actually do that bit next. Then you can see that.
And you put the coins on.
And then the coins go on, do they?
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. So we'll put those bits on now, and then I'll come back when that's done. Okay, so we've got those bits on there. I've also done these side bits because I thought I may as well. I've done these to match the rest of the building because of the way it's at. And I've actually flipped these around from the way it shows on the picture. So it's got these larger parts at the bottom. It matches the rest of the building now. And I've also put on these trellises, which go on there, and the door frame as well. So that's where we're at. So, what's next?
Next it shows putting the roof together and putting the rest of the grey bits on the balcony.
So the roof, as we said, it's going to go that way around. It's got these little indentations there that show you the side it's going to go that way. So then we have a slope in section, another sloping section, and we have this bit there, And then we have a big bit of grey board, which is going to make up the. It is that way around. I couldn't make up my mind on the tiles. A big bit of grey board, which is going to go on the back. Again, like I said before, I'll not cover this in the liquid, even though it's got pretty good supports. It'll probably bevel in the middle if I do that. I'll just take my chances with the roof part, just with the spray paint. So we get those bits together, and that makes up this roof. Again, I've already fitted most of these. Sorry, I'm just seeing some falling off because obviously I didn't put enough glue at that bit. There we go. Right. Okay. So then we have these pieces,
which go on right at the very end once you've put everything on.
I take it they're going to go.
They go across there, yeah.
Which way do they go?
Is
it that way?
Not that one.
Where does that go? Hey, no, I don't know. I'm not got instructions.
Oh, there you go. That one goes. In
there we
that
go.
bit about.
There you go. Good thing we checked that, because that's the other side of that.
And you know what? It's not even on here. That bit.
This bit.
Mm.
So that's going to go under there. So that bit has to go on first, because it's got a lip underneath it. Good thing we checked ahead, because I missed that off otherwise. So I can go the other way around. Go with the papery bit to the middle. So that's going to go on there like that. Then the rest is going to attach to make that roof. So then that leaves these two sections.
Yeah, they go there.
Which go on there. These are the slightly curved sections, and I'm assuming, sorry, that it's curved side down. Yeah. Because that's the way it seems to fit in.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. Like that. So they're going to go on there. Then all we have is some grey board.
You've got these bits.
Where do they go?
So you've got two at the front.
What are these for?
I think they're for along here.
Along here?
Yeah.
Mental.
And then you've got,
have you got a picture?
Two at the side.
So
yeah.
There's one. Right. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, gotcha. So they go around the bottom.
Yeah.
And then you got these other bits which go around the top.
Yeah.
So once they're on, these bits are going to fit up here. It makes sense now. Because it kind of gives it that 3D effect.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Let's get this bit together and then we'll come back with a finished article. Okay, so here we are, covered in black stuff again. I'm handling this roof. But there we go. It's all together now.
That's pretty cool.
That is awesome. I really like that.
Mm.
Right. I'm going to have to move the camera.
Yeah, it's getting bigger, this place.
So there we go, the final floor. You can go either way actually, this as well. Because it's got a slot here on both sides. So I'm a bit dubious actually because it's not quite dried. But whether I want to press down. I'm not going to press down that. I can't tilt it back either because of that. Let's move that back a little bit. You can probably see all that paint and stuff in the background there.
Yeah.
And blood and plunder. I can see that on the camera. Right, massive.
Absolutely massive that.
There we go. Just for scale purposes, there is a model. Fit in that, should do. There we go. Model in there. Not quite entirely sure I'm going to retrieve that.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. So the base, you can fit one in through those. Little gap in the middle. You just need to adjust it. Obviously on bigger bases you might have struggled a little bit. There we go. Right, so the last part of this video, now I've done the building, is extra balconies. Now, while I've been building this, I can't put any at the back, I can't put any at the front, because we've got loads of stuff. So the only place we could put them is at the sides. I'm not 100% sure I want to do that, just the way it lines up. But what we'll do, we'll put the balconies together, then you can see them.
I think what we'll do is maybe build the other buildings as they are.
Yeah.
And then once we've got the pre-built balconies, we can then decide where we're going to put them.
Yeah, basically. So if we pull the balconies section up, and this, I think this is just a grey board and an MDF board.
Looks like it.
I can show you the more than anything.
And you're going to get very, very dirty again because that looks
even the
completely
MDF's black.
black.
Yeah, every time I've washed my hands.
You might as well not bother.
It'll go everywhere. It's
Yeah,
literally soot, so it's going everywhere. Right, so we have a whole bunch of these. And we have a whole bunch of these. So, is this 6? Should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, looks like it.
So we've got doors. These are doors. So what you do, just take that one off as an example. These, you can use these on some of the earlier buildings that we've made. You take a door and you just stick it on the side. This is another reason I don't want to use it on this building, because all my doors have been opening doors, so it'd be weird to have a door that doesn't open. So you'd stick a door over a blank side, or some of them you can put over windows as well on some of the original stuff. Not on the first floor, obviously, on the ground floor side. I'm coughing there. There we go. So what have we got there?
We've got balcony bits.
Balcony bits. So we have...
I think you've got different styles of balcony.
I think there is.
Like different...
We should have 6 of these.
I think you've got a few more than 6.
Alright.
You've got about 9.
That's odd. Not just because 9 is an odd number, but just because I'm sure it said there was 6. We have a look at this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So we've got 6 main balcony sections, and then we've got 6 sides that go with. Then we do also have these as well.
Yeah, I think you've got different style of railings. I think it's like a multi-part kit, if you ask me anything.
Yeah,
there.
it certainly looks like it.
Because that's got a bit of fancy on it there.
Yeah, it does.
Those two look like the plain ones. That's got a bit of fancy on it as well.
Is it 2 of each?
Looks like it. Actually, no, there's 2 box standard ones and then the rest seem to be frilly ones.
Very strange. What I'm going to do, we're going to have a look at the instructions I was placed together and we'll come back in a second. Alright guys, so we've been over this quite a few times. It's a bit like serving a murder mystery, who done it? So literally, just to show you the set, there's loads of stuff here for going on buildings where you've not got any details. Some of the earlier buildings they sold, I think there's a set of 4 for about £20 English. These would be brilliant for that, for just putting extra balconies on. Okay, but what I wanted to get across was what was in here. So we have 5 of these closed doors. And we have 3 trapdoors for going on roofs. So even this one actually, if you had a roof here, you can put a trapdoor on and say, oh look, that's how we get in. Plus, I was complaining earlier that there's no way up through one of these floors. I could actually just put a trapdoor on, just to signify that that's the way up. We also have 5 door frames. I'm not sure how they'd fit on some of the older style buildings, because obviously you've no door in the middle then. You'd have to, I don't know, draw your own door on, I don't know. But I'm not sure about that one, but there we go. So then we have the balconies which are shown on here. Okay, so we have these parts, which are the underside balconies. A bit like how you saw me put the balcony on there. These parts go together and sort of fit underneath. So on the picture, these ones go with this one. And then you have these sections, the sort of curved, fancy looking ones, and you have these there. So there's enough for 2 of these style balconies. And use this one with this because there's like a little cutout section, and that's going to go and fit into. Well, that's why these ones have got cutout sections. So we've got 2 balconies that are like this basically. And this is the main part of the balcony, and as you can see on here we have a long slidey open part. Again, that's to fit these sections in. You can see there. You can see how these match up. You're going to have that bit there, that bit there. Where was it? Yeah. And you've got these sections here which match up with those. What is confusing, which we'll get onto in a second, is we figured out they go with those, and we figured out that you can make these 2 of these ones as well with the iron railing style ones. And again, we've got one of these sections, we've got 4 of these which make up 2 of the under sections, and then a standard sort of upper section, and then you'll fit in your barriers and such like in the to make that one. And finally we can make 2 of those.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like that. And we have some of these like curved sections there. And we have these sort of like bullets to me, sort of bullet shaped.
I'm going to say Moroccan style.
Moroccan style. That's better than my description. Again, a top part like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we can make 2 of those, no problem. So we have 6 balconies, which is what I thought was in there in the first place. Okay, what we also have is plant pots, did you say?
Yeah, they're like a plant pot kind of thing. So they're very small trays that you can either put on a balcony or on the edge of a balcony.
So we have 2 of these.
And those fit in one either
bits
side.
of cardboard, and either side we fit in one of these little sections there, which turns it into a plant pot. Basically, it looks like a trough, a small trough.
Yeah, that's it.
And then we have these larger ones which just bend, and I felt like they broke them. And then these go on there, which go on like the outsides of windows. You can imagine you would have like some plants growing in there maybe or something. That's kind of what they look like. Okay. There's no description on what they are. That's what they look like to us. Right. And then that leaves us with the mystery. Okay. So we have literally 3 sets of these, 3 sets of these, and 3 of these. Now, these fittings are no different. We also have 3 of these as well. We have a Moroccan style one left over, and we have 2 sets of bars, and I think they're identical to the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in theory, there's enough to make 3 more balconies. However, as you can see there, we're missing something, which is the holes for those balconies to go into. All the others have got these 2 sets of large holes.
And lines at the back.
And lines at the back. None of these are missing or optionally cut out a rear plug, if you will. There's not even a bit cut out there for that to come out, which is strange. And again, we've only got 2 slots, so when you try and line up your railings, only 2. There's only 2 holes. There's no third hole, sorry, or 5th and 6th hole, depending on how you're counting. So it looks like when the laser cut 3 of these, they haven't done them properly, and they've missed off their parts. Now, when I bought this, I bought it on the proviso that I was getting 6 balconies, and I've got 6 balconies. So while I'm like, what the hell, I'm also like, well, I've got 6 balconies. That's what I was expecting to get, and then these little troughs and these 3 things. So there's enough to make 9 balconies if you chop some of these off and chop some of those off.
Cut those down to fit.
Have the ability to drill the right, or cut the right wood there. But if you did that, probably you'd be making the stuff yourself anyway. To be fair, you wouldn't be buying it in. So there we go. So slightly bemused, shall we say, at why these bits are missing. There's no instructions with it. These are a surprise. They are in the online instructions. Doesn't say what they are though, so kind of assuming they're kind of like plant pots or something.
Certainly these little ones look like plant pots.
It would go underneath a window.
Yeah.
Section. This isn't a good example.
Yeah,
this isn't a good example. This isn't a good building to put these with. I don't think actually.
No.
On reflection. Mainly because I've managed to get my hinges and managed to get the doors open. That's my main reason for not putting fake doors on. These would go, as I said, really well with some of the other sets, the earlier sets, which I might get one now because for 4 buildings, 20 quid, and I've already got all the extras to go on it.
Yeah,
it might be worth just doing that to get some really bulk out a Venice set. That said, we do already have some more buildings to put together. So when we're building them, I might build them with a view to having a look, see whether any of these would look good on there. But again, if I'm opening them up, probably not. So we're not going to put the balconies together on camera. There's not much point. And we have this little mystery of what's going on here as well.
Yeah.
But you will probably see these in some of our future builds. In fact, do you want to put them together, or do you want to? I'm thinking we leave them for now.
Yeah, because we're not sure what we want.
Not sure where they're going to go. So this was a bit of a misfire as far as I was concerned, because I was going to put them on the sides of this large building.
To be fair, I don't think it needs it.
I don't think it needs it, and I think it would ruin some of the effect.
Yeah,
because one of the things
definitely.
on the side of this building is we've got these cool parts here which would cover up this little fancy parts.
I was just wondering actually, you know these door parts?
Yeah.
You just turn it round to the back. Would that go over there? Like that. So it looked like a door. I mean, you could just maybe get rid of that, but that would be like a door. Perhaps.
Maybe there are. I mean, you need to.
There might be some more that are a bit better than that.
Early. In fact, that may be what they are, because maybe some of the earlier ones have no 3D effects on them.
Yeah.
And these are just to go over. Existing doors.
Yeah.
That might be why. Might have solved that one. That would make sense, especially if you got the 3D doors on you. There we go. That's probably what it is. I mean, I could have a look now. Claire's gonna have a look now.
On Claire's phone.
On Claire's phone. But yeah, so the building set, the first 3 building sets put together, I am super impressed with. Our nice tall building, which you can see at the back, but it's awesome. I'm super impressed by the main set, even if you're just going to get that on its own, the extension, and definitely the roof. The roof is my favourite. There it is. It's being all favourite-y. The roof is definitely my favourite bit, and the rest of it's cool, really cool. These balconies, I think. There we go.
That's one of the earlier ones. Exactly. So yeah.
I'm not even sure if that's going to come up on the camera, but if you can see that there, the door frame has no frame around it. It's not 3-dimensional.
Yeah.
So what you could do is you could put that over the door frame around it just to make it stand out.
So yeah, I think that's what those are for.
Yes.
And maybe the 3D ones are just to go over those doors.
Yeah. I mean, that said, there are some round ones, so there's a bit of a curiosity because they won't fit. Although they might just look fancy if you did that. Right. There we go. So that's where we're at. So what we're going to do, we'll find a nice box to put these parts in. I mean, these plant pots, I wonder if they're going to be useful. I wonder if I can put them on the top there. Would these ones be like plant pots that sat on the ground? These two?
Yes, I'd probably say so. Either side, say on here, you could put them there, either side of those windows, like.
You know what? I'm going to build them. I'll be back in a second. There we go. Finishing touches. A couple of little plant pots. Could actually fill out with green stuff. And then put some like little bits of leaves on there and stuff. That'll look pretty cool.
I'll tell you what would look good. Do you know those little flowers, those little bracken things that you got for Warlords? And it had like little purple flowers and red flowers and
on the
stuff.
box and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Put some of them in there.
Cool. Good point. So there we go. We hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been a long one for us because of all the different things in it. So we hope it's been helpful for if you're putting any of this together, or if you want to buy it, or any other reasons, or you're just interested in Carnivale, or you just like listening to us. Why wouldn't you? There we go. And if you'd like to listen to some more to us, please like and subscribe because it helps out loads. And tell all your friends about us. Like the video, then it gets pushed up. And that's it really. Join us for some more Streets of Venice, where we've got some of the. I don't think there'll be any. Well, there's one building that's taller than this, I think. But we shall see. So join us for that. We've also got the Dice Tower to undo.
We have.
Because we've got the Dice Tower. Thought it'd be cool. And various small buildings. So we also please join us for some more videos and some more Carnivale videos in general. You guys take care.
We'll see you soon.
Bye for now.
Bye.